Okay. I think I'm on the internet. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this map. Alright, so I know the first thing I want to do is change this to a sky. There we go. Okay. I think I'm going to do a sky transfer on this as well. What skies are even in this set? Maybe none. It's weird. Let's see if I can scroll through and find one. I'm a professional live streamer now. Yeah, I just have some uncharacteristic free time to be able to stream, and I figured I'd just kind of indulge in it while I had the opportunity. I'm probably not going to be making a consistent habit of it, unfortunately, but right now I'm looking for a sky texture just to see if there is any in this texture set. I'm not super familiar with it, and I'm not seeing one so far. It's not that big of a deal. I can just use the default sky, but I would like to change it to something if there is one, but I'm not seeing any in this one. All right, well, we'll move on. So, somebody else, two other people designed everything else about the map, and I'm handling specifically the visual detailing. So, Sneezy McGlassface did the geometry, and Beetbeard handled the thing placement. And so now I'm going to try to figure out how I want to detail this. But I don't have any solid ideas yet. I probably could have just flood filled that. I don't think that connects to anything. So I like the wood up there, but I feel like that texture's too dark. So what I like to start out by doing is just experimenting a lot and seeing if I can find any combinations that stand out to me. And then once I do that, then I'll start figuring out how to tie different things together. So I think there's a good wood texture in this set for the flats. Let's see. Oh, they have different grain directions. That's probably not that big of a deal, though, if I just leave it as one. Yeah, you can't really tell. So there's an idea. Something a little darker would be good, too. I like the contrast. Yeah, I like the contrast of that better. Now, what's the next layer going to be? What makes this interesting is that these, all these walls are interesting lengths. They're not always perfect increments that make for good texture repeating, so... I'm going to have to be a little bit creative with how I do this, but I've got some ideas how this could work. Marble could be interesting, but I don't know if it's going to... I don't think it's going to be the look that I want. I feel like the columns need to have their own thing going on. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if I love this, though, so I'm going to keep looking through the textures. I want to figure out how to use some of these really bright Valentine's textures if I can figure it out. These are garish under the wrong circumstances, but I bet I could make something that looks really cool under the right ones. Maybe if there's like an alternating of the dark marble and this pink marble. I feel like it's kind of a risky move. I don't know about this. I feel like there's a world in which this works, though. I don't think this texture set has a palette swap. How does that look in game? Yeah. It's the normal palette, I think, so. Kind of like that too, but I'm not totally sure. That really soft pink color. Well, I don't know if that's soft. I guess it's kind of a salmon color, maybe. Interesting patterns, but these patterns are going to be really hard to use on this geometry. So I have a feeling these textures aren't really going to work very well. This pink set could be good. Oh, these are vertical. That's the only vertical one in the texture set. Oh, no, here we go. And this one. So these could be a candidate for something. What if I do... So there's an interesting pattern on this. So I could do something like... All right, so this is going to be my little test to see how this goes. Figure out which all these correspond with. So I think this one here... Maybe here and here. Is that wide enough? I feel like it needs to be 16 and 16. Yeah, let's make these 16. Damn it. Oops. Okay, yeah. So I need to orient the grid. Oop. Select the line depth. There we go. 15's good enough. Oh, I'm going to need to orient it this way. It's 16 on this side. So now if I do this, and then See, these are all called marb. Maybe the white could be good. I mean, the white already looks good on the map from the gray, so that could be something. What does this texture look like? Oops. Let's get these lined up. All right, I feel like I'm kind of onto something with this. I don't know if I love this texture, and I'm still not sold on the combination with the black marble, but maybe with some more work on it, this can be made to mesh. Or maybe the black marble would make a good highlight for this part of the geometry, this level. But I do like keeping the wood on the top there. I think the wood makes a good border texture. Oh, this should be grass too. This would be good if it was grass. A lot of good grass textures in this one. Let's see. I think I like this. It's either the bright or the dark clover. Maybe the bright clover, and then I can use the dark clover as a highlight in some way. Or I could go ahead and draw an edge around this. Oop. Come on, man. And then I can either put some dirt. I would probably jag those up, make them a little bit jagged, but I could do like that. That's kind of interesting, but it doesn't look... I guess it doesn't look unnatural, but I don't know. I'll just leave that for now. So what else could I experiment with in this one? I want to try a few more combinations. I like that white one. That white one's definitely the leading texture for that, but I think there might be some other ones that would be good. One of these could be good. Definitely going to stay away from the stock textures. It's interesting, this marble bricks. I don't think that fits the vibe of what I'm going for here. I feel like the smooth surface or the more intricate patterns are kind of the way to go. This could be a good one. I'm just going to see what this looks like. I don't hate that, but that's not for me for this. So, all right, let's look at... This one could be good too. I'm going to need to make sure these line up. Just do that manually. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. So then, now the way to see if I still like the way that it works. I think I'm going to put a smaller version of it here. Then these need to connect together, and then I want to put one on the corner here. Or maybe I want to leave it here. All right, let's see. Figuring out how I want to space apart the different details is part of the trick of the visuals. So we'll go ahead and get this here and here. This here and here. This almost could be a light. A bit of a tall light, but it could look interesting. Which would mean that could be a light. But see, the reason I'm thinking that is, unless I use the texture like this, that could be interesting looking. I'm not totally sure. Like, what if I wanted to use the black marble for that? Nah. All right, well, this could actually maybe be the way to do it, and then I don't have to worry too much about what happens here. All right, let's stick with this for now. I'm kind of into the idea that I'm gonna put this here. This can remain the solid black marble, although I'm gonna take a liberty here and round this off. Now it matches that. And thing is, I kind of want these all to be like uniform in where, like if this goes all the way up to the ceiling here, I want it to go all the way up to the ceiling here. So I need to put the border, where's that going to go? Right next to this rectangle. So here, 32. And now if I grab this, I think I want to pull this down. All right, so I need to figure out what this is going to be now. I think I like the black marble. Do I like this? I might change this. I'm not totally sure yet. What if this is the black marble and this is something else? All these little hearts. I need to use these little hearts as little inset details or something at some point. Or these are switches. Okay. And then Cupid's crossbow, health and armor, keys, these little text things. I don't think I'm going to use these, but I want to use as much of the cool Valentine's Day specific stuff as I can without overloading the map. But anyways, let's figure out what's going to replace that black marble texture. The pink? I feel like it's going to be too much if I use pink on this, but let me just see. Oops. So it's not quite as bright as the preview makes it seem like. And then put this in here. I don't know. I'm not completely sold on this. I feel like I liked it the other way around when it was the gray. I mean, the black marble for all the big pieces. Because then there's a lot of strong contrast. So let's go back to this. Maybe the pink marble can be this highlight. I don't know. I'm not totally sold on that. Are Valentine's maps a recent thing? I honestly don't know. I haven't been in the Doom community for like the longest time. I started making maps in 2020, and then I kind of disappeared for like a year and a half between then and last year. So, I honestly am not totally sure if it's a recent phenomenon. I would suspect probably not. But I kind of like the playful nature of it. So I figured it would be fun to participate. Okay. This could be good. I wonder if I could make a detail by insetting this. Bringing it down to like here. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do this. Wait a minute. I really want this to be like some kind of cool detail. But I need to make these proportions match. So let me do this. Just like that. Yeah. Or... Okay. Now I feel like I'm kind of onto something here. Yeah, I mean, holiday maps in general have been a thing, it seems like, forever, at the very least. Like, a lot of the Christmas decorations you see that are still being used have been around for a long time. Okay, I do like the way this is starting to look. I'm not totally sold on everything yet, but maybe I need to just give the rest of this room a chance, detail it some, and then see how it starts to feel. So I'm going to just keep working on this and see if I can get this to stick. Now the node builder's not going to like this very much. Want this like that? Yeah. I think I'm into that. I need to figure out, too, what the ground is going to be. I think getting that all solidified is going to help this start to kind of mesh. I think this is starting to gel. I think this is kind of a decent look. Let me see. Let's do this. Ah, man. Lining these up is going to be weird. That's not straight, is it? Is that a straight line? It is. Okay, well, that's good enough then. Doesn't have to be completely perfect. It just has to be good enough to not notice. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm starting to fill this out. Oops. Let me do something real fast. Sorry, I'm just checking Discord on the side here. Okay. Just gonna put this here for now. I'm gonna change that though. All right, what do I want to do for the floor? This is going to be interesting. And I mean, it seems like it's going to be some kind of stone, right? But there's a lot of unusual shapes in the hallway, so these are some pretty obvious choices. I don't know why. I don't think that this is going to work, but I'm kind of just drawn to the way these look. And I like these textures a lot too. I'm not sure if I could make that work. I think I want to have a section that's got some liquid in it, so probably water, but that would be neat to use too. And we're down to wood for the rest of the textures. So, not overloaded with options, which I'm okay with. I think, all right, so we'll go ahead and start with the green marble. Just feels like it's gonna clash a little bit. I'm gonna see what it looks like, but I think it's gonna clash. It matches the grass too much. This one is probably a pretty obvious choice too. White? Would white marble look good? This is so busy. It doesn't look bad, the color anyways, but that texture is just so busy. That'd be cool. That would be good to highlight a room with. This is probably going to be the best one. Huh. I don't like the way it repeats, and at least from this angle. I don't think it's going to look that good. Maybe. If I'm going to use this as the wall, then I'm going to either need, I think I'm going to need a different texture, or I'm going to need to make a border on the floor. So I could do, let's try it with a border before I do anything else. So if I make a border like, was that 16 wide? That's not super wide. I'm feeling like it needs to be wider, but I'm gonna start with this. We'll just draw it out to here for now, just to see what this looks like. Goes all the way to here, and then I want an inset border because I want to actually try to use that really interesting pattern. So I'm gonna make 3 levels of borders. And now what I need is a dark texture, a really dark texture. So we'll probably go with that black marble. This could be interesting too. But I think, let's try this one. Let's try this. And then let's come back over to here. Marble. This might not work, but I'm going to keep advocating for it in the design. Nah. That doesn't work at all. Ooh, red? Red marble? Let's do this. And let me get a darker marble. Let me get the black marble. I wish this shade came in this pattern. I'll make this work. I don't know. That didn't have the same impact that I was hoping it would. It's just messing with my head to leave this door this way. That might get changed to a wall texture later anyways, because this is supposed to be a trap. So, I don't hate that, but I'm not enthusiastic about it either. Pink? Pink could be interesting. There's some pink colors in here. Let's see. This one. That pattern again that I'm sure I won't be able to make work. Or I could just go crazy and go for this super bright purple. This is not going to work, I don't think. Oh, there's way too much going on with that. Nah. Alright. Try the actual pink one. I don't think this is going to work, but I'm going to see what it looks like. Oop, that's for the ceiling. Let's do this. Oops. I'm just not sold on this inner red border. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I might come back to the floor. I'll stew on that for a little bit. I'm not sold on this. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll think about it. Oh, I need to figure out what this is going to be too. This might just be this texture. And everything matches nicely. And then these are all in here. I also need to figure out where I'm going to put some lights. And this... I might redesign this monster closet just a little bit, but we'll see. This is just asking to be a monster perch. Why aren't there any monsters perched on this? What happens at the beginning of this map? You get some supplies. Yeah, I don't think there's any monsters that come to that, so that could be interesting to... I'm going to probably add a few gameplay tweaks to this, but I guess I'll just continue to focus on the detailing for now. It's 23. Okay, I need to align the grid. I'm going to be doing that a lot, just switching the grid alignment over and over again. And I need one in here. 19, no, I need to, let's see. 15 good is good. And 16, perfect. I feel like this wants to be some kind of like feature of some kind. It just seems a little weird being just a random inset. Try to figure out something cool to put here. These windows are really neat. What if it was like a basin of some kind, like liquid? Let's see, actually. I don't know why I closed that. Trying to think. I kind of want to change the shape of this just a tiny bit, but not a ton. But I'm not sure how I want to do that. Oh, this just doesn't want to line up very well. I don't know, is that interesting enough? I think it's pretty neat, but let me see. Put this texture here. Yeah, let me get this to line up. Is that on the grid? That is on the grid. Okay, perfect. I just need to make this the right proportion, or the right angle, I guess. Why does that seem weird? This is 15 and this is 16. Slightly off, I think. It's not even going to be noticeable. It does not like this node or this vertex. I could probably just get away with leaving that line not a perfect 90-degree angle. I don't think that's noticeable. Oh man, this MIDI is so awesome. I love how peaceful it is. I kind of want to draw a ring around this room. My question is, do I want to do it against the wall or against this? I think I think I want to do it against the wall so that it matches this border, whatever this border is going to end up being. So let me do this. How far is that? 16? Is this 16? This is 16. Okay, good. Keep these borders equidistant. I think that's going to change at some point, but I don't really feel like manipulating the geometry too much right now. I think I want it to come in here and follow this contour. That'll look really cool. Wait a minute. This should come to... Is that 16? Okay, good. And... Oh, right. I need to close it. There. Oh, wait a minute. What's going to happen with these little insets? These need to be... I don't know if I like that. That just feels like too much, but that feels like wrong. Oh, and I didn't inset these to the same depth as this one, so that's probably part of it. I also really want to change the sky. It's kind of bothering me. Yeah, it's noticeable that it's a weird pattern. Why is it... Why can't there be a smooth version of this other marble texture? It's either this pattern or this weird splotchy shape. The most obvious thing is to border it with the black one, but wouldn't mind trying to do something different than that, but we'll see. It might not work out. This just needs to be different. All right. This could be good for the ceiling. Oh yeah, and now I have this problem of how I've connected these floor borders together. Looking great. Well, thanks. I feel like I'm just kind of, I'm still kind of figuring things out. So I'm not 100% sold on anything, but I'm feeling like this is the right direction for sure. But I do want this, so I'm going to make this... Is this going to break anything if I join these together? Okay, what I'm seeing here is that this needs to come up like this. This needs to come down. That, yeah, that's how this works. think. I'm not totally sure. I don't really think it's even necessary to obsess this much over it, but I'm going to. This is my mark that I'm putting on it, so I think I'm gonna go the extra mile with anything that I do on this project. All right. I'm gonna come up here like this, bring this up. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. All right, let's try that one more time. All right, 18's close enough to 16. There we go. Yeah, that'll look really good. The details that people will never see, I'm the same way. Yeah, I mean, it's like people will never notice it, but I notice it. So I have to do something about it. This might look weird if this border's not as wide, but I'm going to see. I think having a double border on this, now that I'm looking at it, could be really good. Yes, but it needs to be the same width as the other side. So there's going to be some areas where the white tile is actually really thin. But that's not that big of a deal. I think this is going to look neat. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Different texture border around the grass. Oh, you mean the grass facing side? So if I just did like black instead. Trim by hand rather than trim by stair builder. I use stair builder sometimes, but I don't use. I basically just use it to make stairs. The alternating black and pink is kind of cool. Actually, is it a little bit more than kind of cool? It might be really cool. Hold on a second. That would mean that this needs to be black. But I could get away with the pink in here. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. You get annoyed when the diagonal portion of the trim is too thin. Yeah, I think it definitely needs to mostly maintain consistency. I kind of like that, and I mean, I kind of also just like both sides being pink. I'm having a hard time making up my mind. Because I kind of like just that it's a little... I feel like the marble, since the black marble is like the big parts of the geometry, I think having the floor like be more bright to kind of contrast that is sort of the way that I want to go with it. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now, so... Now what could be interesting though is if I get some dirt in this part. Is there a dirt texture that's called dirt? Yeah, here we go. And then you decrease it by 1. And there's probably a tiny dirt texture. Where is it? I don't know all the names of the textures in this set yet. I'll just use this. You can't tell. Oh, and the one missing detail, of course, is that this needs to be something. This could be... This could get away with being like marble. Oh, shit. That's kind of cool. Found dead in Hollywood. Hello. The big black patches might work best if you stick to pink for trim. That way pink is clearly the accent color. Yeah, I like mostly sticking to rules like that, but sometimes I like then breaking the rules after I've sort of established them in the map's visual style. Like, I kind of like that these small little insets are also pink. It also looks a little bit weird with this, like, super stock texture in here. Actually, this is the exit of the map. I'm gonna just move this out of the map for right now and figure out a way that I can do that. Yeah, I think this could look right. And then what I'd end up doing with the grass probably is, you know, making this all jagged and stuff. You know, something like that. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm still trying to figure out the visual language of this, so... I like that we're getting a little bit of debate about it in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sold on everything that I'm doing yet, but I do tend to kind of, once I kind of get into a rhythm, I start to sort of go with my gut a little bit. My gut's kind of telling me that I like this the best. Let's see what it looks like in the game. What's gonna be weird looking is the diagonal stuff. And there isn't really a good, I don't think the other pink texture really looks that good at all. So there's still a very good possibility that I don't keep the pink border at all, because just the way that it looks on the diagonal is just really weird. Does this already have the combat mostly finalized? Yeah, for the most part. Beetbeard actually handled all the thing placement and combat design. And I want to say it might be his first crack at mapping, so I felt like I would probably just leave most of it alone. It's pretty fun. It's a good, this is like a 5-minute map. This does not take that long to beat at all. It almost kind of has the bones of a deathmatch map, if I'm being honest. This thing is looking a little bit awkward. Yeah, you know, I'm not completely sold on like what's going on here. And yeah, the pink squareness of it, and the unfortunate with the fact that it's not totally on the grid. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. I feel like there might be ways to kind of make it work. Lover's Quarrel. Oh, well, interestingly enough, like, I'd say a good over half the textures in this asset pack are adapted from Lover's Quarrel. I think most of the textures actually are. Including all the little... Like, I think the plasma gun shoots the hearts and, you know, everything else. Gameplay over aesthetics. Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. This is gonna be way too annoying. If I do this, it would make more sense to do this. No, this. Which one? I really want to figure out how to make this pink work, because it's like softened considerably over gameplay on. God, I cannot read. you're coming around to not just strictly adhering to gameplay, which I can totally see that. I mean, I don't think every map has to be this like hyper-tuned, super calculated Rube Goldberg machine of Doom gameplay and combat. I think you can get a good map out of something that's a little bit more fast and loose, or just if you want to, make the art experiment sort of argument about Doom mapping, there's a whole nother territory there too. You have a less geometric pink flat. I have this weird splotchy looking one, and then the rest of them are like that super bright magenta. Or no, you know what? I'm searching for marble, but let me just see if there's anything in the pink hue that's not a marble texture at all. Because this is the alternative one right here. Marb F13, Barf 13. And then I don't think pink slime. I don't think there's like no other pink textures, so yeah, and these are garish. These all look awful, so I'm not going to even, like, I don't hate this, but I just don't. It's just adding another layer of complication to the visual formula, and I think it's too much. Can you dim the peak texture or desaturate it? I mean, I could bring the brightness down to like 160 or 144 or something. I actually don't mind the saturation of it or the hue. I mean, I would not normally make a map that looks like this, but I'm kind of leaning into it for the fact that it's a Valentine's Day theme. So it's going to be a little bit, brighter and a little bit more, I don't know, ostentatious than I would typically make for a map's visuals. Huh, that gives the stone like a really nice rounded look to it. Yeah. I'm not normally a big fan of this kind of. I mean, black and pink is a good classic color combination, but these are not choices that I typically make when I map for myself. Perhaps. So one thing that I could also experiment with is this inset texture could be a little bit better at meshing with this tile. So let me see what options I have on that front. See, like if I did, this one doesn't even have any tiling to it. I wonder if it could kind of make up for the fact that this doesn't look as good on the diagonal. Then it kind of softens the pattern effect a little bit. Yeah, see, look, I think this might be the way to go, because I might be a little bit stubborn with the pink texture, and this just might be one of those areas where I make a compromise on it, because I really don't want to change the pink texture. The more I look at it, the more I like the color combination. And I think, yeah, switching to this untiled marble in the inset kind of softens the effect of the slant on this this pink texture's tiling. So I feel like I can kind of get away with this. And this is one of those things where I start going like, how much time do I realistically expect somebody to sit here in the map and go like, uh-oh, they used a really weird texture combination here. So I'm gonna put this one down in pencil as like, this is probably what I'm going with. And then are you allowed to add textures? I don't know, but I also just kind of like working within the constraints of what I'm given. So I've never really endeavored to even try to add textures just because I don't really want to. I like having to make choices based on what I have. Could I put a decorative object to obscure the angle thing? I mean, I could put, like, there's some interesting, like, grass and mossy mid textures, but I'm going to probably use those, like, hanging over in the ceiling. Yeah, I assume everyone will uh-oh at any oddities that I find in my map. Yes, in practice while I'm mapping, that's generally the mindset that I inhabit. But then you go back and you watch somebody play your maps, and you think there's this, like, really awesome detail that, like, ties something entirely together, and you'll go and you'll watch people, like, just consistently miss it, whatever it is. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess it wasn't that interesting. So, I do try to bear in mind that everything that you do is a trade-off, and to some degree, there's a diminishing return for just obsessing over every tiny little thing. Oh, here's the skies. Why didn't these show up? Now I can change the sky with a sky transfer, and that might change things too. Let's go ahead and make a dummy sector. I don't know why I drew it that shape, but I searched for sky earlier and nothing showed up. I don't understand why. Gold or this pink color. Let's see. Sky transfer to tag 0. Ooh. Ouch. Okay, that's a little too much. I mean, maybe it's not too much, but what does the red one look like? And as you can see, I'm a little, like, ADD when it comes to bouncing between what I'm working on and thinking about. That's just kind of the way that I keep myself flowing. That could be kind of interesting. Kind of like that. I don't know. I'm still not sold on this fountain thing. This kind of sticks out to me like a bit of a sore thumb. But the rest of this, I feel like I haven't nailed this yet, but I think I'm onto something with the way this looks. I think if I keep leaning into this angle, I'm gonna hit on a map that I like. So, all right. I'm gonna probably work on this for just a little bit longer, but I'm gonna probably call it before too long. Let's see. So this could be wood. I feel like, okay, so something also is calling to me to use a little bit more wood in this. I already looked at the dark wood and thought it was a little bit too dark, but maybe it would look good in this type of situation. Everything in me just wants to make this round. Like, I feel like water basins should be round, but I don't hate this as a, the way that this looks. I mean, of course I need to adjust the flats, but I don't actually hate this. That could be something. Okay, crazy idea. Oh man. I kind of don't hate that either. Okay. I don't actually hate this, the most coveted mapping breakthrough. I feel like that's how all my breakthroughs happen. It's kind of like poking a hole in someone's defensive barrier and getting them to slowly come around to an idea. Except you're doing it with yourself. Everything's just a psyop these days. Changing that too, since that sticks out. Okay, so here's where I think I'm going, where I feel about this is the decision that I would make if I was making my own project. This is the decision I would make if I was making my own project. This is the decision I want to make strictly for this being a Valentine's themed project. I need to just... I liked this before. I'm going to stick with this. Plus, I need to accept the fact that I can have plenty of time to experiment in other areas, so I can give some of these different areas each of their own themes. I can use some of these ideas that I want to implement here and recycle them into other ideas in other places. So, okay, that's what I'll do. So in terms of the way that this courtyard looks, though, I like the way this is starting out. Of course, I think I need to... Do I want to make this super bright? If I made it the dark pink sky, or whatever, I guess it's just a regular, I mean, it's pink, it's whatever color it is. Did I specifically volunteer to do visuals? It was kind of like proposition to me. Sneezy and Beetbeard were like, hey, we want to handle the map, and we were wondering if you wanted to do the visuals, and I was like, yeah, sure. I've never really had to detail a map that I didn't also design before, so I'll give it a try. That's fun. I'm always up for... It's honestly weird that I didn't sign up for Limit Buffet, because the idea of, like, give me some constraints to work within, and, like, I'm not allowed to break rules, or I, can break the rules as infrequently as possible, is, like, one of my mapping prime directives. But I guess for whatever reason, I just wasn't interested in community projects while that was going on. So yeah, when they were like, do the visuals, I was like, that sounds good. And then I just kind of, felt like it would behoove me to make sure that I try to leave this alone as much as possible. The brightness seems hard to notice. It's just on the grass. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to make it like, it almost makes me feel like I want to make it like dusk. And so I want to make this actually like a dim courtyard. And the inside could be brighter. I'm not totally sure. I need to deselect all this. Okay, here's what I like to do when I need to like mass select stuff without the other areas. I'm just gonna change that. Actually, it would probably be easier to... Yeah, let's do this. Okay, select this. Doing visuals without control of geometry would be really hard. Yeah, I completely agree, which is exactly why I said that I would give it a try. Uh, 160... 176 could feel... I feel like it can feel... dim if the surrounding area is dim. Let me see. So this is 128. 128's really dark though, but it'll have a really high contrast, but it means that I would realistically need to make the insets a lot darker, or this could be like a glowing... Find a way to make that glow would be nice. What's your position on boom style light sequences? Well, considering that I have used them in Bitter Dream, it would be hypocritical of me to take a negative stance on them, wouldn't it? I like boom style. Like it all just depends on kind of what I'm in the mood for, because like I feel like there's a great place for visuals that are like a lot more simple and pared back, but I also like when people just go absolutely bonkers with visual light sequences, like, something in Eve Eternity 2 or whatever. Want to try my hand at mapping, but I always end up playing other people's maps instead. Yeah, I was actually thinking about making a Doomworld post about this, but then I was just like, I don't care enough to do that. But the thought that if you're like really invested in mapping, that you probably ironically don't actually play that much Doom, I would be curious to take a poll of people who consider themselves like mappers, you know, with a trademark symbol, and say, compared to how much mapping do you play a lot of Doom? Or do you actually not play that much Doom? Because I know a lot of people who map for Doom and they don't actually play it that often. Because mapping takes up a lot of time. Let's see. I want to find a way to make this a light could be good. I'm anticipating Bitter Dream being done. I've ruined too many projects for myself by playing them before they're finished. Well, I have some bad news for that front. I completely restarted progress on map 8. I guess good news is that I finished map 7, so episode 3 is underway. Bad news is that every map that I've started for episode 7 so far, I have restarted at some point. So, and by that I mean completely wiped out what I was working on and changed it to something else. But I'm getting a little bit of that, a little performance anxiety, because people are telling me that they're interested in Bitter Dream and they can't wait for it to come out, and now I'm like, oh shit, I gotta stick the landing or I'm gonna feel really bad about this. Most of your playtime is testing maps. See, exactly. I am trying to consciously set aside time to play Doom and enjoy it, because I don't want to lose touch of this game and just dedicate it strictly to mapping only. But it's not an easy task. What the hell am I doing with this? I cannot figure out what I want to do with this. All right, I'm gonna do this for now. This might work for the time being, but I don't like the. I'm not in love with it. Add an Easter egg in the map, which is just the Baron Room in Doom 2's map 8. Bitter Dream sounds like it'll be super dumb, and I have low expectations. Thank you. That is just the kick in the ass that I need to. Now I will be in the mode to prove everybody wrong. So that's good too. All right, I made this a weird shape. I need to fix the geometry of this. I'm not sure what I want to do. I think it's going to look weird if I make this. Does that look weird? Also, it's just inset too far. What am I doing here? What am I going to do? What am I doing? All right, I'm making a huge mistake. No, I'm not. That's what I needed to do. See, this is one of those weird idiosyncratic things that you as a mapper will notice, but people playing your map probably won't, is that on this side, the black marble texture and the border texture are on the same face. But on this side, they are perpendicular to each other. And if I wanted to fix that, I would need to inset this like this. I don't think that's the way I want it to look. No, never mind. That's not it. I'm not used to talking these things out loud too, by the way. I think if people watched me making maps in my natural habitat, you would probably think I was fucking stupid half the time, because I'm just constantly like, what am I doing? I'm gonna leave this alone for now. This is still not completely sold on me, but I think this is sufficient for the time being. What about this? Let's just see if this is something I want to do. No, I like it being the same as on the cross. Making the border stick out so the trim is parallel like the other side. Wait a minute. Why can I not figure this out? I'm normally good at this type of thing because that's why I'm a mapper, but this is legitimately how I fix like janked up geometry sometimes, is I just drag vertices around in the most ugly way possible. So I feel like I kind of see it. What am I doing? What am I doing? But I'm too tired to wrap my head around the necessary transformation. I'll figure it out. That's where I'm going to ask you to have some faith in me. Would the waterfalls be helped by some decorative things? Yeah, maybe. That's a good point because I do not use things as decorations often enough. I constantly forget about them. And as it happens, there are some cool ones in this set. Good call. I have not even looked at these even once. Pillars? These are not equidistant, but I don't really care. Oh, I thought they were going to be taller. I was thinking maybe a tree could be kind of cool, but trees don't really grow in the water like that. Things are a blind spot for me in decoration. Yeah, I lean way more in mid-texture decorations than I do thing decorations, but I'm trying to get better at it. Oh, that's so weird. That's so fucking weird. Why is that? Nope, it's too tall. Wait, what about the Cupid? If this was like, it looked like he was a fountain, that would be perfect. So, I mean, I guess you could have like a statue in the fountain. It's just a single little lonely fountain statue. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, that's kind of like what it's not like if it actually looked like a fountain, right? Where did I just put these vertices? These vertices not on that. They need to be on this one. Oops. I don't know. This is going to be one of those things that I probably change like a dozen times before I'm done. Mid-text vegetation? You mean like grass and stuff? You know, ironically, I don't really use a lot of texture sets that prominently feature grass, so I don't think I've ever really used them before. This has some good like hanging moss type of stuff that I want to try to use. Oh, that's kind of neat. Mid-crack. You guys want to smoke some mid-crack? Oh, a little floral wreath of some kind. And a cool, like, rose vine. I think some smart vegetation placement is going to really transform the visuals of this from, like, it'll put it to the next level, I think. So this one's actually 256, so I need to double this. Wait a minute. All right, you know what? I'm going to eliminate a redundancy, though, and see if I can get away with making the mid texture here. Is it called mid? What was it called? Vine? This one I feel like I could actually get away with using the bright pink one. Oh shit, what did I do? Oh, is it in? Oh, it's on the wrong side. Duh. I need to put it on both sides. It's too dark. Is that even going to be visible? So I need to make this 160 at minimum. Is this for Doomworld Dating Sim? It is, Emperor Spoon. Welcome. I'm making this with Sneezy McGlassface and Beetbeard. So, Sneezy handled all the geometry, And Beetbeard basically handled all the thing placement, and I am doing the detailing. I'm attempting to do the detailing. I don't know. I don't know about this. The vine is getting butchered by the color map. Yeah, it's just... I don't think it really works all that well. Honestly, none of these magenta textures, like, do it for me. This red one could be good. I've been trying to get red in here so far, and I haven't done very well. Ooh. Hold on a second. I've wanted to get started on yours and Professor Boom's map, but college has seriously taken a whole lot more time and energy. Yeah, and you know, in terms of focusing on college, it's like if you're going to spend dozens of thousands of dollars to go there, then I think you're best suited to put your attention towards that and not free, little Doom project. But it is a shame that it is draining you of your energy so much. Would it help to tilt the axis-aligned vines? Oh, you mean so they're like at a bit of an angle, so they don't run the exact same in parallel to the rest of the geometry? I keep trying to make this red work, but I just feel like the red is too much. And there isn't any green vine except for this. This is not what I'm looking for. So if it's not red and it's not pink, then the vine might not be happening. But let's see if this one looks okay. I could also try one of these that are smaller, but I don't think that's the right call. Oh, wait, what the hell just happened? I thought I selected the other ones. Am I... Oh, here we go. That might be too much, too. I don't know. Just for the fake contrast issue. Oh, yeah, fake contrast. Kind of don't always think about that. The red fixes that concern mostly. Yeah, I might go with the red. I'll leave it with the red. I also like how much more full the red is. I'll go with the red for the time being. It feels like it could be on borderline too much, but also maybe if it's just... This is the only outdoor area so far. I don't know. The rest... I mean, the whole map is enclosed, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I could change any of these things. These are the kinds of things that I will change. As I would... Like, if I wanted to make this outdoors, I would add some more geo so that I could raise the ceiling and have some detailed sectors in there, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. There is... I know one particular area I want to make like a water basin type of area. And maybe there could be some outdoors in that, but I think too, it's like if you're going to have like a really ostentatious or like eye-popping, eye-catching detail somewhere in the environment and you don't use it that often, then it's not that big of a deal. If it's like the concern is that it's too much. Community college, normally low-key, but there was a hiccup with financial aid and stuff. Oh yeah, that's so stressful. And then you don't know if you're going to be able to like take your classes and everything or buy your books, because books are so freaking expensive these days and you don't even own them anymore. That outside area is now packing a stark red, green, and blue, quite colorful. It is. It's got quite a lot going on. It's also the first area that you see. You know, you spawn into this area, and so I'm not opposed to making the area where you spawn in, visually distinctive. Ooh. Okay, that's way too much. That does not tile very well. Okay. Okay, I want to use everything. I want to have every detail in here. A fountain would tie this together. Yeah, a fountain in the middle would be really good. However, what I did is I moved the exit out. The exit is actually supposed to be in this room. And I think the progression is, oops, I killed all the textures on this by moving it out of the map. You get all the keys and then you come back and you fight a cyber demon and then you lower the exit and teleport out. But maybe it could be on top of the fountain. Make sure to use every texture or else you failed as a visuals guy. Yeah, I don't want to let everybody down. Everybody knows that the map looks... The more complicated the pattern is, the more money that I can charge for this map. So I do kind of want to see... It could be kind of neat if like the exit of the map was in a fountain. Something about me is tempted to make the shape of the fountain not perfectly symmetrical so that it kind of matches the flow of the rest of the area, but I don't know how I would get away with doing that without just making it look dumb, so... I have no idea what I'm doing with this, by the way. I just took your idea of, like, make a fountain, and I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. So I'm just drawing something, and we'll make adjustments to it if I need to. Ellipses tool. Oh, yeah. I like the ellipses tool. I would have used it, but... You know, I'm just making it an octagon shape, so... So the thing is, if I make this a fountain, it is technically supposed to be the exit. I would need some way to put the key markers on it. I mean, there's no reason I can't. Although there's only 3 keys and there's 4 sides, so that asymmetry would get on my nerves, but maybe I can make it work. I'm not, by the way, I'm not necessarily keeping this here. It just is what appeared, and I'm just leaving it alone for the time being. Maybe I'll move the player start too, and that way I could put the fountain more in the center or something. I don't know. I'm trying not to tweak too much stuff. Key? What is it? Door? Key? And what are the key colors? I don't even know the key colors. They're all changed. I think it's a pink, white, and a red key. I don't like that. It looks terrible. I guess we'll just go with this one. 3 pillars on each side. That could be a way to do it. I'll play around with a few different ideas for this. I'm not totally set on anything yet. That's weird. And then what would be on this side? Oh, you know what? I kind of see if I just do it. I just make the water part smaller. That's the most obvious solution, right? Just add some vertices and just do 1, 2, 3 in each area. Oh. Yeah, this makes the most sense. Of course it does. I don't know. It's not very elegant, is it? So... We'll just make this the placeholder for the time being. This will be the placeholder. This is not what it's going to look like. This is a placeholder for now. But we'll see. Also, I'm kind of... Red on outside and white in middle could look nice. So it could go red, pink, and white. Oh yeah, I guess the order of the colors is not a bad consideration. I didn't even actually really think about that. White on the inside, and then we'll grab that pink and put the pink on the end. Not terrible. It's also just kind of the shape of the thing. I basically just took the geometry as it was and tried to manipulate it as little as possible, but I don't know. I'm just going to leave this alone for now. I'm also kind of not sure if I want to maintain my decision to make it dark out here. It almost makes me feel like it would look better if it was bright outside and dark inside the building, maybe. I don't know. I'm not totally sure. I need to think about a few things. I don't normally map this long without breaking my stride or getting up or like just staring at YouTube for 15-minute intervals. And it also is like 11 p.m. my time, so I'm gonna probably hang it up here. But it seems like a few people actually turned up for this, so if this is interesting enough to tune into, I'll do it again, maybe even as early as tomorrow. So I guess be on the lookout for that, and I will try to get a notification out when I plan to do it again. But thanks everybody for checking this part out, or checking this out, I should say, and I wish you all a good evening, or I guess whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Good wishes to you and all that other stuff, and I will see you. Bye-bye.